everyone, Nico and me here, and today No. Well, that was very unexpected. Hello everyone, Nico and me here. My phone literally fell through this, crevice right there, and it was a mess. And I was gonna leave the 40 seconds of me digging to find it, but I don't want to waste your time more than you probably feel like you've been wasted, so... Okay, so judging by the title, Gen 1ers Calm Down, you've already written the paragraph, the essay, before I even spoke the first word. I understand that. But Generation 6, X and Y, is the best Pokemon game of all time. I'm going to talk more specifically about X and Y, so leave out Oras out of the ordeal. Oras, I think, is a good game, but X and Y, I think, is the best Pokemon game of all time, yet. So... the reason why I say X and Y is the #1 game, so please leave your comments alone until you actually hear me out for at least a minute or two. So, when I think of the criteria of the best Pokemon game, I don't just think about what most people think about. And I'm not saying your criteria is worse than mine, I'm just saying I think about it differently. Which is, most people think about the new Pokemon, the region, the trainers, the gym leaders, the Elite Four, stuff like that. But when I think about the new games, I think about what the new game, or what the game brought to the series, what it brought to the table to make Pokemon as a franchise bigger and better, and evolve the franchise maybe to the more futuristic, or just made it stronger in general. And I think X and Y did this in all accounts possible. Never since Gen 1, we have not seen such an upgrade, not only in technology, but in new modes, new capabilities with your Pokemon, new functions. We've never seen such an upgrade since the originals came out, and where it all began. So I don't really consider that an upgrade, that's just where it began. So, X and Y by far is the game that brought the most new things to the table ever since ever. And if you're asking what that stuff is, well, the player station thing, the PSS, being able to contact and battle anyone across the world at any time without having to do the pen pal thing, and it was just so hard to go online and fight, not even your friend, but just if you want to go have a battle with someone random online, you'd have to find the pen pal number, you'd have to go schedule a time for you guys to battle. Now you can just hop on your 3DS and go to just press one button and you have a person from China, a person from Japan, a person from Russia, somewhere completely opposite side of the world to you, just battling you in Pokemon. And I think that's so cool. And being able to trade with random people, the Wonder Trade, being able to just share your O powers, which I know isn't not many people care about that, but that's just more cherries on the cake. The PSS is by far one of the best things that's happened to Pokemon, and that's one of the things that came in X and Y. It just allows you to communicate with not only your friends, but people you've never met before. And I know that sounds creepy, but being able to find new Pokemon trainers and have eventful times, and being able to save replays of the battles you've played against people from all around the world, and then being able to see what the top Pokemon are, and the top trainers are online, and you have a reason to fight. Not, you want to train your Pokemon in Pokemon, but you also want to be the best that no one ever was, and you can actually kind of do that now. So, it's really cool that they added the PSS and other online capabilities. They made it so the training in EV training and IV training are a lot easier than it used to be. Remember how you had to do all that crazy fighting Pokemon? Well, not crazy fighting Pokemon, but no. Now all you do is you have to spend 5 minutes tapping your DS and fighting a little bag, a punching bag, and then there you go. It made it so much easier for people who want to come into the Pokemon competitive scene, or just people who want to add more Pokemon to their competitive Pokemon collection, but couldn't do that because it just takes so long. So they had that. They had a Pokemon Me, which again is kind of an iffy feature. Not many people care about it, but being able to see your Pokemon, we haven't really seen that since being able to see and interact with your Pokemon, we haven't really seen that since Heart Gold, Soul Silver, when the Pokemon would crawl basically behind you, and you can talk to them. Now you can do the same thing, it's just not annoying, but you can just do it whenever you want, wherever you want. You can just tap PokéMe and you can interact with your Pokemon, play games with them. It's a perfectly good feature in my opinion. And then we have, excluding that, we have the new Pokemon, which I think the new Pokemon in X and Y were flawlessly designed. You have Greninja, Delphox, what's the one thing? The Aegislash. The legendaries are very beautiful. They're not blocky, they're not like cheesy like they were before in the later regions. They were just really like elegant and powerful, and you really want to catch them. Zygarde is the exception to that, but hopefully we will see something in Z if Z gets announced. The legendary trio is very disappointing in this game, but hopefully we will be able to catch them in Z or other events. We got Diancie, and I think you can get Hoopa, but it's kind of a lost cause at this point. They kind of made it up for being able to catch Moltres in them, but the whole after game in X and Y was a disappointment, and that's what was kind of holding it back. But then again, all the good outweighs the bad. So I kind of want to give you the counter argument to my argument. So the Pokemon designs were very good. I love Goodra, Aegislash, Delphox, Greninja, the legendaries. The legendary trio is pretty well designed. Mega Evolutions, that's a whole nother thing. The Mega Evolutions, not just their design, but the idea of them. The whole competitive scene has completely changed. I think the Mega Evolution idea is phenomenal. Like, that didn't even cross my mind. There's so many things that X and Y introduced. Mega Evolution is just, I can make a whole video about Mega Evolution. Mega Evolution gave fresh air to the Pokemon players who thought, my Charizard is so strong, but I wish it would get stronger somehow. They gave the idea of making your Pokemon break the limit. I know it sounds so cheesy, but they break the limit even further than they could before. And anything could get a Mega Evolution now. Anything could get 2 Mega Evolutions now. Basically, Pokemon is so much more open, and anything could happen now with Mega Evolution. So that's really cool. Now they also have opportunities to go back to stuff like Heart Gold Soul Silver again, like part 2, Super Heart Gold Soul Silver, and Super Silvery Silver. I don't know, but they have a reason to go back to those games now because they can make Primal Luigi, Primal Lugia, Primal Ho-Oh. They have a reason to go back to these iconic Pokemon games and give them more of a story with Primal Evolution. They're obviously going to go back to Dialga and Palkia, and then eventually with Reshiram and Zekrom in like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years from now. They have more of a reason to go back now because of Mega Evolution. And seeing all my favorite Pokemon like Lopunny, hopefully Infernape someday, Swampert, all my favorite Pokemon being able to evolve past what I thought could ever be possible, it just makes me so happy as a Pokemon fan. But also loving the designs and pushing forward. So Mega Evolutions were a fantastic addition, and it's just another thing that X and Y introduced. So let's talk about more of the core of X and Y. The story, I'll give it to you. It wasn't that great. The gym leaders, I think a lot of people do not like them, but I think some of them were very, very memorable. Not memorable, but they looked good. They did what a gym leader was supposed to do. Being able to supply a cool team, a cool gym, a cool personality. I think they all did that great. Definitely the Robo Kid, I think his name starts with a C or something, the one with the wires coming out, he was really cool. The whole trivia thing, that's so much fun. I love doing the trivia gym in the 5th gym, and being able to go into the Eiffel Tower building, the light tower, and then that's where the gym is. Oh, so cool. And then I like the fairy girl, and then the Violetta, whatever her name was, the psychic one, that was really cool. So lots of cool gym leaders. Definitely not like Gen 3-ish, or Gen 1, or Gen 2 even. But definitely, I think, a step up from Gen 5 Univa's gym leaders. I think none of them were terrible, and all of them were unique in a way that it was okay. The story, on the other hand, I'm not a big fan of the story or Team Flare, but I think, again, like I said, for jumping and adding so many new things, I think all of these new things, and then a super complex story that makes no sense, and is so huge, and you really have to dive into it, like Unova and Gen 5 and Black and White. Sorry, I think I'm catching a cold. It was a very simplistic story and a simplistic rivaling team, and I was okay with this because of all the things they added. I was so curious what was happening with Mega Evolution, what all this PSS was, and how I could Wonder Trade and trade over the world, how I could battle everyone across the world, all the new Pokemon. I was okay with not having a super complex story, if that meant adding so many new things that this had. And that's where I think the region is actually phenomenal. It's very beautiful. It's very simplistic. It's based off France, which is already beautiful enough. There's nothing too crazy going on. There's no volcanoes erupting. There's no land turning to water and water over fighting like Hoenn. There's no huge mountain that you have to go through every 5 minutes like Sinnoh. It's not way too boring like Kanto. And it's its own. It's very simplistic but beautiful in the same time, and it's very fun to go through. There's lots of iconic and memorable places to go through. Lumio City is by far my favorite city of all time. I haven't even talked about the 3D graphics yet, but being able to feel like a Pokemon city is actually a city, because before then it's like four houses. The houses don't even have 2 beds for 5 people living. Seriously, there's like 10 like kids living in a house. Not even 2 beds for them to share. Like, what, do they all just sleep in the same bed? Or do some sleep on the floor? Like, Lumio City made Pokemon cities feel real. And being able to get your own job at the hotel. I bet none of you even knew that was a thing. You can go to one of the hotels in Lumio City and work and get money. You can get your hair cut. Don't even get me started on character customization. It's just Lumio City and the beautifulness, that is not even a word, of the whole region. And even though it's simplistic, it still gave me a memorable experience and lots of memorable locations like Lumio City, and I really, really loved it. Another thing they added the idea of having 4 or 5 rivals at a time, which was really interesting. I didn't like it at first, but then I kind of got used to it, and I liked having more than one friend with me on this journey. I liked having multiple personalities around me and being able to meet them in different locations and see some details about them that you never really seen in Pokemon before. So I thought that was really cool, and I know a lot of people don't like that, but I think that was a really good idea. And then we get into the whole idea of character customization, and this isn't to be like racist, like a black person playing Pokemon couldn't even be black, he had to be white, or a girl who was Mexican couldn't be Mexican. They had to be a white girl. But with character customization, everyone can be themselves as a Pokemon character, and you can feel yourself as a Pokemon character. It might be different for me because, like the core demographic, not core demographic, but like the characters always kind of looked like me. I guess that makes sense. But for other people, there's a huge disconnect between the character and themselves, and they never got to feel like there they are in the game, in their DS, playing through the Pokemon world. They never got to feel that, and I'm really happy Pokemon and Game Freak and all of them made it so everyone, no matter race, gender, hair color, skin tone, hairstyle, length, hair color, anything, they can look themselves in the game and feel like they are in a Pokemon game. And I think that might be the biggest thing in this whole shebang of X and Y, is everyone got to feel like they are themselves in this Pokemon game, and that's them in their journey. So I think that was really cool. One thing I think they should have added is an apartment complex in Lumios where you can make your own apartment, but that can happen a different time. But no, that was definitely the biggest thing, and I didn't want to make that seem like it was something it wasn't, but definitely it was cool to see everyone who played Pokemon having the availability to see themselves as looking as themselves in the game and being their own trainer, not typical white boy Ash on an adventure, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to seem like, racist or anything, but that's just how it is. I'm happy that everyone was able to experience their Pokemon game as if they were in the game themselves. So that's all about that. And Pokemon wise, like I said, Greninja, all beautiful. They match the region really well. I think the theme and idea, adding fairy type, dragon types are so overpowered before fairies. Now fairies, it's like checks and balances in the government, okay? It's like the dragons were the president, and now the Congress just lets him make anything he ever wants. He can bomb any country whenever he wants, and no one ever, like, he's a dictator. It's basically, the president is a dictator. That's what dragons types were. But then, checks and balances, the Congress stops them. Is this turning into a government lesson? No, I don't want that to happen, but it's like checks and balances. Fairies came out, and they counterbalanced that. So, I have listed like 30 things, and I'm not even like, it's not even done. And I hope this video gave you insight on why I think Pokemon X and Y is the best game in the Pokemon franchise yet. It added fairy types, character customization, being able to ride roller skates. I didn't even think about that. A different form of transportation outside of riding bikes. Mega Evolution. New 3D graphics, so it looks like you're actually playing Pokemon. Being able to find and play with and look at your Pokemon like if they were actually real and like you were watching the anime. It basically looks like the anime, and it's just so cool to see your Pokemon fight like realistically. Pokemon realistically, obviously. And then being able to just contact anyone inside of the world at any point in time without having to message them through Facebook. What's your pen pal? What's your pen pal? What's your pen pal? Just being able to trade with anyone whenever, battle with anyone whenever, be able to train your Pokemon through training bags instead of the really annoying process it used to be. Being able to look at your Pokemon just like you did when you were playing Heart Gold Soul Silver. So many cool, new, amazing ideas that X and Y brought to the table. I hope most of them stick. And this is why I think X and Y is the best game. It had all these new things, all new amazing things, but it was also a simplistic, fun Pokemon experience at the same time. And I just want to thank you, Game Freak. Thank you, Pokemon fans. I really hope they can top themselves with Gen 7. I think they will eventually top X and Y, but being that it's a new game, and I think eventually people will learn to respect X and Y, I think eventually it'll be looked at as one of the best Pokemon games, if not the best. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I know this was a long video, but I think it deserved a long talk. Hopefully we get Pokemon Z leaked soon enough. Koro is supposed to leak very soon, so for more Nintendo news, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because Nico and me has always got it here. Make sure to comment down below what you think, what's your favorite Pokemon game. I'm really interested to see what you think. I hope my ideas gave you insight on why Pokemon X and Y is criminally underrated right now, I think, as a Pokemon game. I think by far, Gen 3, Gen 6, I don't know what else would be there. I think my three favorites are Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 6. But that's just me. Comment down your favorites. Tell me if you learned something new or you have more respect for X and Y after watching this. I hope I gave you something. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.